Hello everyone! Welcome to another episode of Bible Q&A. Today we're discussing, how does God describe his vengeance on competing gods? We commonly view God as the only truly powerful being in the universe. After all, the scriptures tell us, "For the Lord is a great God and a great King above all gods." Psalms chapter 95 verse 3. Who is like unto thee, O Lord, among the gods? Who is like thee, glorious in holiness, fearful in praises, doing wonders? Exodus chapter 15 verse 11. In fact, no other gods can really do anything, because they're just imitations of Jehovah. Jeremiah said, "Every man is brutish in his knowledge. Every founder is confounded by the graven image. For his molten image is falsehood, and there is no breath in them. They are vanity, and the work of errors. In the time of their visitation they shall perish." Jeremiah chapter 10 verses 14 to 15. However, God still describes other deities as competitors. He said in Zechariah, "And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will cut off the names of the idols out of the land, and they shall no more be remembered. And also I will cause the prophets and the unclean spirit to pass out of the land." Zechariah chapter 13 verse 2. He wouldn't bother to do this if he didn't think these deities were a threat. The reason that he's threatened by other gods is not that they challenge him, but that they lure his followers away from him. For instance, after everything he did for the Israelites in the wilderness, they started worshipping the gods of Moab in Numbers chapter 25 verses 1 to 3. At least 24,000 people had been involved in the idolatry and fornication. Also, in 1 Kings chapter 12 verses 26 to 33, Jeroboam created his own gods and told his citizens to worship them so they wouldn't remain aligned to Judah. His actions permanently severed Israel from the worship of Jehovah, so God lost 10 entire tribes to idolatry. Clearly then, he had to take other deities seriously and neutralize their threat. He said in Jeremiah, "The gods that have not made the heavens and the earth, even they shall perish from the earth, and from under these heavens." Jeremiah chapter 10 verse 11. He'd put them in situations where they needed to prove themselves, and then he would restrict their power, making sure that they failed to do so. For example, in 1 Kings chapter 18 verses 19 to 40, Baal needed to light a sacrifice to show that the Israelites should worship him. Obviously, God didn't allow him to do it, and he lighted his own sacrifice even after it was soaked in water. He didn't even need to say anything, because in this situation, action spoke louder than words. Also, he said he'd kill all the firstborn offspring in Egypt in Exodus chapter 12 verse 12. God wasn't going to let the Egyptians dominate the Hebrews and prevent them from worshiping him. The Egyptian gods had already failed to replicate or prevent many of the later plagues, but this last event proved that they were pretty much useless. The same thing happened in 1 Samuel chapter 5. God had let the Philistines take his ark from the Israelites to teach the latter a lesson, but he wasn't going to let them prove that Dagon was superior. He destroyed his statue and gave the Philistines hemorrhoids, and Dagon could do nothing but watch. The Philistines even sent the ark back with a peace offering, acknowledging Jehovah's power. In fact, God is actually doing these kinds of things in our time as well. He has many competitors in today's world, and many of them aren't traditional deities anymore. Money, technology, and politics are all gods to certain groups of people, because they determine how they live and who they support, and they take people's attention away from him. Also, we can't forget about Satan the devil, who wishes to take over God's position according to Isaiah chapter 14 verses 13 to 14. Thus, Jehovah has to show the world that they can't save humanity like he can. Matthew chapter 24 verses 6 to 7 describe famines, wars, and diseases ravaging the globe. No deity has been able to save their people from these troubles, and though Satan is trying to use spirits, like the beast in Revelation chapter 13, to distract humanity from these problems and gain their support, he's gradually being prevented from doing that. John said, "And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil, and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. The only way someone can escape all these troubles is by believing the truth about God. That way, when bad things are happening, he'll give them the strength to get through them." St. Paul said, There hath no temptation taken you but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. Elijah had to deal with the famine just like the other Israelites, but God was able to sustain him with the ravens, according to 1 Kings chapter 17, verses 1 to 7. Thus, slowly but surely, everyone will discover where the truth really lies, even if they don't end up believing in it. As it was said in Zephaniah, "The Lord will be terrible unto them, for he will famish all the gods of the earth, and men shall worship him, every one from his place, even all the isles of the heathen." Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 11. And that's the end of this episode of Bible Q&A. How does God describe his vengeance on competing gods? He weakens their power so that humanity sees they are nothing. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe.